saw things I imagined. I saw things I imagined. Yes, honey. Solange knows. Let me find out. The music is better than Beyonce's, okay? I love soulful music that just waters my essence and, you know, just creative, standing on its own. And I've been in Solange Knowles' bag, and they like, y'all, some of y'all like, what, lately? Should have been in that bag. Great, beautiful music. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a playlist for the channel. I already made one playlist because I am Michael Jackson's biggest fan. Yes, in case you didn't know. And I have a playlist. My favorite song is I Just Can't Stop Loving You, and it has like all these renditions of that, and then other songs that I like to hear by him as well. So you guys can enjoy that playlist, okay? There's a little bit of Stevie Wonder in there as well. But it's primarily Michael Jackson. But him and Stevie Wonder are pretty tight, if you know, beneath the surface, in the nucleus of the onion type of thing. But yeah, music can be very therapeutic. And this, I know I don't want to digress totally off the topic of this video, but yeah, I use music and it has helped me in profound ways. So I always make that suggestion, and I've made a video on music therapy, so feel free to check that out. All right, but either way, maybe we can wrap this all in, seeing things we imagine. A lot of us who have perhaps been predispositioned or trained or groomed to be very passive, you know, to be meek, to be quiet, to be in the background, to be silent, you know, to quiet your own inner voice, basically. And this can happen a lot of times stemming from childhood, you know, your parents always trying to shut you up. Everything you say is wrong. They don't really allow for your individuality, or they, you know, make you feel wrong and awkward about speaking up for yourself. And, you know, as you're doing this, because you spend an astronomical amount of time under that roof, right, until you're an adult, typically, and you're able to go and get your own place, you're under that energy for a very long time, and more than enough time for it to become embedded in your subconscious. So let's put it like that. Honestly, almost by the time a child is 3, so much of your emotional DNA has been groomed for quite some time until you have a certain type of self-awareness and consciousness to be able to see those shadow sides or the negative aspects that your parents have, you know, taught you. Because no one's perfect, you know, but some of them were just flat out abusive. I won't say that right now, okay? But yeah, so what we'll have eventually is an adult who's gravitating towards another partner. You know, you'll choose friends and romantic partners that kind of usually is similar to that energy of those primary caretakers, and then that kind of enables the process to continue where you're still, you know, being this sacrificial lamb, you're still quieting, you're still basically disconnected from your inner voice, or you become really good at blocking it out, basically. All right, so it's one thing on this channel for us to say, okay, yeah, that is probably one of the issues that I had that allowed me to not only attract the narcissist, but create a relationship with a narcissist or a toxic person and allow it to continue being too passive. So it's one thing to have the awareness, okay, yeah, I've been a very passive person. I don't really feel comfortable speaking up for myself. I may not, you know, typically those type of people may not feel comfortable with the thought of any type of conflict. Oh, I want everybody to love me. I want everyone to like me, because it's, you know, that codependency and that external focus and that lack of inner attachment or connection. All right, because the more that you're solid within yourself, you know, the less you will need that external validation, and the more you could just stand on, you know, this is how I feel, this is how it is, take it or leave it, you know. But when we're so externally needy and externally focused, externally connected, and that we're off balance with that, then we're going to have that person that's very passive, you know, because we're filling those voids with the external instead of the internal. And then some of us have been doing it for so long, it's like, where do I even start, Lakia? Like, okay, you know, it's one thing to tell me I have an issue and a problem with that, but okay, I need some solutions. I need something I can touch and feel. I need something that I can use to, you know, cause a shift now. Okay, I know I have this issue. I want to get out of that energy. I want to leave, you know, do the shadow work on that aspect of myself so that I can, you know, cleanse myself of that and learn how to be assertive. All right, so how do we be assertive? Okay, the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is don't confuse assertiveness with aggressiveness. And a lot of times, you know, someone who's used to that passive energy, that passive essence and way of interacting with the external environment and even with yourself, actually, you're doing it to yourself. You may not be subconsciously aware of that, but you're being passive with yourself as well. Very passive. All right, so a lot of times just getting a little bit of a voice feels dramatic, because when you're going from no voice to a little bit of voice, and I didn't mean to have that AC on. Hold on, guys, let me get the AC. Oh. Cut that off. My bad. I'm like, that wasn't supposed to have been on. That wasn't supposed to have been on. And I don't feel like starting over. So we're going to roll with that. We're going to roll with that. But yeah, when we are used to being so passive, just doing a little bit, turning up the volume a little bit feels like we're blasting it, you know, because we're not used to that, you know, we're not used to that. So welcome to this video. Welcome to this video, you guys. We're going to talk about ways that you can become more assertive, you know. Of course, what do I have on this list? It looks like I have 6 ways here where you can start being more assertive. Hold on, you guys. I know this is like, what, Lakia? Yeah. I just want to put a little bit of lotion on. I had to make a run, and, you know, it's starting to feel like winter here. and then I use so much hand sanitizer, too. I'm real, you guys. I'm too real for some people, okay? But I'm real. Oh, that smells so good. I'm going to share with you guys my favorite lotion, too. And it's unisex, so you guys can use it as well. It's energy. It's aromatherapy, and you can get this at Bath and Body Works. And it's orange and ginger. It's a natural essential oils in here and a whole bunch of vitamins. And the whole thing is supposed to like revitalize and refresh and wake you up. And it smells really good on my skin. I know everybody has different chemistries. And some people can wear some perfumes and not other. But I highly recommend this. This is great. It's like, it smells wonderful. It's my favorite. It's my favorite, yeah. It's basically my favorite lotion. And Amazon has really good deals on this too. You can save. But with the holidays coming, I'm sure they'll be having the sales at Bath and Body Works too. So now that we've digressed for the second time, you know, we can have fun. You know, we can have fun increasing our emotional maturity. So I definitely want to say that. And you guys may begin to see even more of my personality come out. You know, learning doesn't have to be dry, flatlining. You know, we can laugh. We can feel like we're having a conversation and all of that good stuff, right? All right, you guys. So yeah, so like I said, I have 6 things on my notes here. So we're going to go ahead down the list, you guys, on learning how to become more assertive. All right, and get out of that passive energy, because guess what? Passive people end up being doormats. They, you know, you get less of what you want, because now you're relying on, and then when we're saying passive, a lot of times it's passive aggressive with people, and you're getting your needs met less. Hold on, you guys. So much going on. All right. A lot of notes, you guys, a lot of emails. All right, so let's get to number one on the list here. So the number one thing here on my list is, and it doesn't mean the number one thing that you should do per se, but the number one thing here on my list is to increase your communication skills. Increase your communication skills, okay? Notice I didn't say increase communicating, because that's the person that's constantly repeating themselves. That's not assertive. That's actually someone who's lost control, and it shows that, someone's not listening to you. You're chasing somebody for something. So it's more of a weak position here. And of course, we're not talking about a toddler. We're actually dealing with 2-year-olds, and we repeat ourselves a lot to them. They get a pass. We're talking about adult to adult here. So I want you to work on increasing your communication skills. So I want you to become a better communicator. It doesn't mean more frequent, like I said, repeating yourself. I'm not saying that. But when you speak, when you open your mouth, when you're projecting yourself, when you're relaying a message, I want you to be honest. I want you to be direct. All right. So work on being honest and direct. And a lot of you may be like, I was being honest and direct with the narcissist. And if you were, that's fine. Maybe then the issue was going to be some of the things that are further down on my list. Okay. Maybe you had the honest and direct part, and it was some other things, but some people actually aren't honest. They minimize their true desires and things that they want. They do, instead of asking for what they really want, because they're afraid they're going to get rejected or denied for that, they'll minimize it. Okay. So I want you guys to make sure we're having honest and direct. All right. We're not being passive aggressive. We're talking directly to a person. We're not trying to relay a message to another person to do the communicating for you, because we're not brave enough to address a situation head on. Because guess what is mostly true in life? It has mostly been true from my standpoint, okay? If you want something done right, do it yourself, okay? You need to relay a message to someone, you need to address an issue you got with someone, do it yourself, okay? Because sometimes people have this filtery way of receiving the information that you're giving them as it is, but you're giving it to a third party to go tell someone else. Remember that game we all played, well, most of us in elementary school, where we whisper something in one ear and the whole class whispers it, the next person whispers it, and then by the end, the original statement versus the statement the last person came up with usually is not accurate. There's some twisted turns. Somebody heard it that way. And okay, we avoid a lot of issues by just being honest and direct. It saves time. We nip something in the bud sooner than later, rather than let it fester and grow. And then the person like, well, why didn't you been tell me this? Like, I've been doing this. Now you want to say something about it? Because we were being passive, and we were being timid about it. Okay. And a lot of that is a lot of fear energy mixed in there as well, you guys. So we got to drop the fears of, this person isn't going to like me anymore. This person isn't going to leave me, or this might start an argument. I don't like arguments, and not feeling comfortable with your conflict resolution. And that ties into, you guys, increasing your communication skills. All right. So yet again, we're increasing the skills, not the quantity. But in some cases, some of you have been very mute. So you might need to just open your mouth, and you need to increase your quantity of speaking as it is. All right. But not necessarily repeating yourself. Okay. Because if the person ain't deaf, they heard you. Is whether they're respecting what you're saying, respecting that boundaries, respecting your wishes, and so forth and so on. And that's for you to take note of, not for you to twist your arms to get them into submission. But then for now, you need to now respond to the clear observation that they're not respecting it. Okay. So we're going to increase our communication skills. All right. First and foremost. All right. The second thing that I have here on my list is we're going to take ownership in our verbiage. The verbiage is basically the words that we're using when we're communicating. So I came up with some words or phrases that you might want to start using more. And this is asserting, putting more authority and ownership over what you're saying. So you're going to be using the word I a lot more. I, I, me. You need to be assertive about it. So you're going to say, I know, I only, I won't, I will, I can't. These type of words, they're definitely going to help you start to take more ownership over your verbiage. Because a lot of times when we're passive, we're talking passive aggressively. Well, I don't know too many people who will put up with that. Instead of saying that, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to put up with that. We don't have to talk around in circles. We don't have to dance around things. We can take ownership and start using the word I. Okay? That is definitely assertive. Okay? So number 3 here on my list is we're going to use eye contact. A lot of times when we're coming from narcissistic abuse, we're coming from toxic relationships, our self-esteem, our sense of self-worth, our self-value, all of that is in shambles often. You know what I'm saying? And then when we're groomed from a child, a lot of times it's incredibly embedded to where we don't even really we'll say something, but we're not really looking at the person. And that really needs to stop, you guys. Because number one, most communication is nonverbal. I know we spend so much time talking, but most communication between people are nonverbal. So when you're not at least looking this person in the eye, you're robbing yourself of all of the clues that you could actually be taken in through your emotional maturity to be able to gauge if they're being receptive, if they're being truthful. And, you can feel the energy more. So don't be afraid of that. A lot of people are nervous to tap into people in that way, but you need to. You need to. If you're going to have a conversation with them, if you need to relay something to them, it's best to go ahead. If you can do it in person, eye to eye, that's more assertive, and it's definitely going to help you be more direct and honest. And all these things are tying it. Okay. So looking through someone's eyes. Are they nervous about looking you back in the eyes? I need to I want to make some videos on how to tell if someone's being truthful to you, some general techniques and things that you can look for when you're interacting with people. Okay. But use eye to eye contact. It says it takes authority. It radiates a more serious energy. And it's definitely more assertive. You're going to take that person more serious than the person that's kind of like, down, not even looking around and not being direct about it. Okay. So number 4 here on my list is be serious and not goofy. Okay. And this might sound funny to some of you, but a lot of us, get anxiety and have nervousness around anything you might perceive could start a conflict, or you feel like a negative reaction from someone else, or having a negative opinion or perception over what you have to say. All right. And then sometimes it could make us have a nervous laugh, or if it's not that, we think something one way and then we project it in an energy that's not best for us. All right. Which could be being goofy. So when you say something, don't laugh about it. I mean, unless it's just purely funny, I guess. But if you're having a serious moment where you have a serious message that you want to relay, be serious. No laughing, no giggling, no goofing off, no being goofy about it, or don't say it and then laugh about it. Because then it plants like, well, did they really mean that? You're giving them a perception that's not inconsistent with where you're actually meaning and going and heading with this. Okay. So make sure that, when you're relaying and projecting, is serious. It doesn't have to be mean and all this other stuff, but serious nonetheless. All right. So number 5 here on my list is we got to increase our confidence, don't we? We got to increase our confidence. All right. A more confidence means what? We're self-assured, right? And it means that we're going to be self-reliant when we're more confident in ourselves. All right. So we need the confidence. We need the confidence that it's okay for me to want what I want. It's okay for me to communicate that. I deserve to have that. I deserve to have my needs met. I deserve to have my boundaries and my standards. I feel confident in that, and I'm okay with myself. It's not weird. It's not odd to me. It's completely acceptable to me. I embrace myself and my wants and needs, and I'm confident in that. Hopefully they can, respect that. If they don't, that's their problem, but it's still my life. It's what I want. That's confidence, you guys. That's confidence. All right. So the 6th thing that I have here on the list is make sure you're communicating through your actions as well. All right. Because remember a few minutes ago when I was just saying how most communication is nonverbal. Okay. And especially with a narcissist, because they'll hear what you say when they want to listen, but they care most about your actions and what you're doing. So, make sure you're communicating through your actions as well. Because don't say, well, I don't tolerate that, but then your actions tolerated it. So the person will be more inclined to believe you do tolerate that. You say you don't, but you have been and you're still doing it. So I think I'll be able to get away with that. And this is how toxic people and narcissists operate. They see what your true boundaries are based off of your behaviors and not what you say. Because a girl could say all day, I'm not going to sleep with you. And then she sleeps with you. So if you're constantly saying one thing and doing another, you're contradicting yourself. You're sending mixed messages. So, learn how to stand by what you're saying. What? I know that I'm not going to accept this. So if they do that, don't accept it. Okay, this is over. This isn't going to work for me. Now, it's possible they might try to come back and say, okay, well, I'm willing to stop that. I'm sorry that I didn't respect it, but, I value our relationship and I'm willing to stop this toxic part of me, or I'm willing to respect your boundary in that way. It'll be up to you if you want to not only, forgive them, but accept them back. That'll be up to you. But either way, you stood by what you had to say. Okay. So make sure that your behaviors are consistent with what you're communicating, basically. All right. So that is my list here. And what I want to say here overall, I guess this is going to be a number 7 brownie one here. Realize that it's about you and not them when you're trying to be assertive. All right. And I kind of started out the conversation with that. And what I mean by that is not about twisting their arms to get them to agree with you, to get them to see your point and do what you want. It's about you just being able to put it out there in a confident manner. Either they're going to get with the program or they're not. But if they don't get with the program, you're not attached. You can let go of that. You can say, okay, well, you're not for me. You're not going to be a part of my team. Or, whatever the case may be, this isn't in my best interest. You're okay with walking away with that, understanding that there's billions of people in the world and some of them are going to be for you and some of them aren't. Okay, you're in that category. Okay, so be it. What's for you is for you. And having, that confidence and that comfort in that is going to help you have the confidence to be a better communicator, to take ownership in the things that you have to say, to use eye contact, honey. Eye contact. I want to see. I need to know, take in all the clues that I can, but it's just projecting my own confidence as well. Okay. I'm going to be serious about it because I need to be taken serious. This isn't a time to be goofing off and laughing, and my confidence is going to be intact. Okay. And I'm going to follow that up by having my behaviors match that. Okay. Because it's consistent. All right, you guys. So I hope this video is a beautiful start for someone who's been passive aggressive, not getting what they want in life. This is a few steps that you can, several, more than a few, right? That you can take here. And it's about you and not them, all right? Don't be overly attached to them agreeing, or don't think, well, I was assertive, they didn't listen. Does that mean I was passive? No, it just means they didn't respect what you were saying. They're not willing, and that's okay. All right. All right. So if this video resonated with you, go ahead and hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I gotta see what the video count is, but we're probably approaching about 700 videos here to help you increase your emotional maturity. All right, because we can all do better. We have the option of doing better when we know better. All right, we really have that option. Some of us use it and some of us don't, but I want the people here on this channel to use it and be greater and be better. All right. All right, you guys, thank you for all the love and support that you show the channel. Great ways to support the channel is to always hit the like button, leave comments, share. These are great ways to push this content out. All right. All right, you guys. With that being said, if you're struggling, yes, if you're struggling with learning how to be more assertive in life and you want some more details on how we can do this, definitely feel free to get some coaching from me. I do offer that. Visit my website, lakiacrawford.com, and schedule your session. Or if there's any type of shadow work, healing from a toxic relationship, understanding narcissistic abuse, I'm a general life coach, you guys. I'm here. Use me. Use me to help you. It's my way of paying it forward. And, you know, no one regrets getting coaching. All right. With that being said, you guys, never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work. And until next time, please take care.